So our first guest has officially joined us. Oh, come on, man. Happy to introduce to everybody Marty Sheedy, founder, Project Scissor Gait Foundation. How you doing, Marty?
Hey, how are you guys? How are you, Jamie?
Hey.
Hi.
Very good, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad that we were able to put this together. I really appreciated hanging out. That was a few weeks ago now. But
Yeah.
that was pretty cool to learn a little bit more about what's going on. Of course, I've seen your presence, crossed paths, at least virtually, a few times and stuff. But it was cool to learn some more, and I think some other people are going to be interested in that.
So,
And
thank you again for having me.
And all right, so there are some new toys that we have, and welcome, Jazz Cabbage Cafe, and welcome to the whole crew here. I don't know if you know everybody, but a lot of people are familiar with you and your work. You put out a lot of information. You're very inspirational. That's one of your kind of goals, I think. It would appear to try to help uplift others around you. And just like to hear a little bit more about your story and and how the foundation came to be, and some of the work that it does. And I know that you have this discussion a lot, so I'll let you kind of like fill us in.
Yeah, no, everyone, thank you for having me. I was born with two really rare medical conditions. One is called arthrogryposis, and arthrogryposis affects the joints and the muscles, and it affects everyone completely differently. So for me personally, I was born with club feet. My big joke is I could play golf with my feet. And one time I actually got to do that at a foot golf fundraiser. So
wow.
I think it was full circle. That was fun.
So crazy.
But I had surgery to straighten my feet out when I was a child. I was born with scoliosis, so then I had a spinal fusion to straighten my spine out. When I was born, my hands clubbed completely, so I had bracing, and that was able to help that without surgery. And then the main part of arthrolyposis for me is that my hips are dislocated out of socket. So most people have the ball in the joint and it fits. So mine is out of alignment just enough that allows me to walk in a cross-legged manner. And the doctors called it the Scissor Gait. So Gait is the medical term for walking. So that allows me to have much more freedom of walking. If I try to walk straight-legged, I walk like a penguin and I really can't go anywhere. And it would take me like 10 minutes to walk from here to the car. So it's allowed me to see and feel the world in ways that I would have never.
Right, and this wasn't like learn from a physical therapist or anything like that. You developed this, and it was unexpected to a degree, right?
Yeah, it was self-taught. No one taught me how to do it. Fascinated when I was a child. I just started doing it, and it worked. And the doctor said, "We're not going to try to straighten your legs to do anything because you won't have the mobility that you do now." So I'm like, "Oh, that's fine. That's my way. I'm the Scissor Man."
Wow.
And have you come across anybody else with the condition or with certain physical scenarios that found that to be an advantageous way to walk as well?
Yes. I was on an awareness trip 2 years ago. We went from Maine all the way to Houston, and we visited over 70 families with arthrolyposis. And there was somebody in Philadelphia who my age who rock. Well, he doesn't rock like that all the time, but when he needs to really do some fast, he uses it. But when he was younger, he rocks his legs more. And there's actually a video of me and him racing around the hospital, so that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
So that's also my post-its. And then just really quickly, prune belly syndrome. It's a very, very, very condition, and it's a lack of abdominal muscle in the stomach, which causes the urinary tract issues and many other different things. Luckily, I was really only affected with where they needed to do like a tummy tuck type surgery when I was a child. All the women are like, "Oh, I wish I could have that." So it's always a funny joke. Uh, so they were able to fix that, and then as I got older, my kidney declined. So 3 years ago, I had a kidney transplant, and a good friend of mine, Drew Droilo, donated. Well, he was a match, and then just like the rest of my life, all types of weird things happen, and my antibodies change. And 2 weeks before the surgery, Drew and I were no longer an actual match, which is wild.
What?
But
How does that happen?
very rarely,
Oh.
but something in my body changed within 4 months from the last test. But it was an emotional like low at first, but then when we took a step back, and I did have to go on dialysis for a while after that, but to me, I was able to gain experience of other Pumbali patients to then like help them more. I know that sounds weird, but that's the way I've always felt. And Drew, because of that, Drew still donated. It's called a paired donation. So Drew donated his kidney to someone, and that person, and it started a chain. So Drew donated his kidney to a lady in Georgia, and that lady's fiance happened to be a match, and he donated to me.
Wow.
And it started a chain after
I
that.
think that's so cool.
That is pretty cool, man.
That is an
It's really
amazing
cool.
connection.
Yeah.
How unique.
Yeah, it's a wild.
And so, and I think if I remember, we were talking. It's you have had to go through the kidney thing, and some other stuff as a result. But unfortunately, many people succumb at a young age.
Yeah.
And however, if that's not the case, then aside from these things that you kind of have to like work through, you expect a normal lifespan.
Yeah. As long as everything goes well, like I'm gonna keep the kidney healthy and keep rocking. But genetically, it's not a degenerative condition.
Right.
It's mostly with also like this. Most of the hardest times is in child, like in early age, and then as they get older. Because of the surgeries and operations in the beginning, and then towards the end, like arthritis and things. But then that's how cannabis has like helped a lot of people with arthritis, especially with pain. And I personally know of someone that moved from Puerto Rico to Florida to be able to gain access to medicine to get them off pain medication. So that it's a really amazing thing, and like more and more people in the osteoporosis community are starting. I've like learned to use it to help them. So that's good.
Right. We discussed that a little bit too. And while cannabis helps out with the pain, and that type of stuff, you're not adverse to having some fun and just getting stoned.
Yeah.
Go.
Shocking behavior.
That's the way it works quite often. I've seen that in a few people. Yes, you got to have it for some things, but hey,
Was yeah, and that's really about Belly and how it's affected me. So those are the two conditions that I was born with, and I've always told people, and I know like I was born with this body for a reason, to be affected just enough to have to overcome the challenges and learn the lessons, but allow my body to be healthy and physically enough to travel and spread the info about autolycosis and to help people in things. So I know my purpose in life, and I'm just following it.
And you do a lot of that through the foundation.
Yeah. The name of the foundation is called Project Scissor Gait Foundation, based on the Ray Rock. Originally, the idea, just how everything does evolve, my first thought was, if my rock could help me, maybe there's someone else in the world that might be able to help. But then, as I realized and got more involved in the community, I realized how everyone was affected much different. And it takes a very specific hip deformation to have this benefit to you. So then I realized, okay, I can create awareness, I can help with hands-on things, like the foundation has been able, annually there's a medical soul conference for autolycosis and Kundalini. And the foundation has been able to pay the conference fees for 3 years of, well, everyone that has autolycosis, it costs $50 to attend, and we were able to cover the fees for 3 years. So that was a blessing. A lot of things is awareness trips that I do to help connect families and have families that have never met another person after their closeness to Kundalini. That's a really important skill connection for the person in the family. So me and a friend of mine do that.
Right.
So
So you said that the scissor gate doesn't apply broadly. I mean, it's something that's kind of specific to how things manifested itself with you in your own scenario.
Yeah.
But so while you can't help somebody out with that specifically, you do demonstrate how you took the challenge of your own situation and came through in the way that worked for you, and that's an example of that for others.
Yeah, for sure, and that's try to empower yourself to overcome the challenges of what you can. I know it's kind of cliche, but it's very true.
And I know we have some mutual friends. We talked about some supporters of you, your foundation, everything, good friends. You've been friends with Darren McCarty.
Yeah.
Been really awesome in this arena in the cannabis world.
Yes.
And, turns out to be a very genuine person. And you've been friends with him, I think you told me, since you were like 10 years old. And I told you that somebody else on our show, who was Colin, got a visit from Darren when he was a kid and he was in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I had a
Show that photo,
kidney
Colin.
stone.
Show it. We know you got that photo.
I have one. Where is it? It is
It's
right
awesome.
now. I have one on my phone now. I can post it.
You can show us next week. Just make sure you have it prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's such a great dude.
Yeah, he
And
is.
just humble and genuine, and it's
Yeah.
just cool how all of these years later we get to reconnect and still be friends. And he helped with a fundraiser I had for the foundation 2 years ago, and yeah, it's just great.
Yeah, he's cool.
Marty, you traveled all over, and your feet still led you to the botanical company in Oscoda. How did that happen?
I love it. It's wild. Yeah, a good friend of mine has cottages up in Soda called Sheedy Shores, and me and my family was helping to clean and open the cabins for a couple of weeks. So yeah, me and Jamie talked like last year, and then I sent a message and like, hey, I'm up here then, and we were finally able to net that day.
Yeah,
And botanical company,
it's all true.
place, huh? It was a good
Yeah.
location.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, I'll tell you this. I'll give you an extension of that story, Marty, that you might not know about. That Deborah and I think everybody else does. You remember my brother came in while we were hanging out there?
Yeah.
Before he came in,
I'm laughing already.
out in the parking lot, he owns a body shop up in Oscoda. I think you got that when we were hanging out. He brought in letters, that you put on cars,
Uh,
and
Oh, the
he
little metal letters.
affixed the words "Lil Dick" to my trunk, which is still there. I think it's funny,
It's
so I kept it on there.
hilarious. It looks like it came on the car. It's real car little letters that they use to spell out, the vehicle names and shit. It's hilarious. It looks like it's always been there.
that's hilarious. Yeah, he's been a funny guy, so yeah, that's funny.
He seemed funny and innocent, but now you know.
No, he
I
does
know the
not
truth.
seem innocent. What are you talking
I
about?
don't think that's the term used
We
to
all
describe him very often.
Come on.
But that is a cool area up there, isn't it? It's definitely not like a developed area. It's pretty raw, and it's like nice forest and sand and water and those elements. It's
Yeah,
nice to connect up there with nature and stuff.
very true. I'm actually going back up there this Thursday until the following Monday.
Awesome.
Right
I
on.
love it there. So much fun.
Yeah, and the weather is getting warmer, so yeah.
So during the pandemic, you as did others, and did we all have to be very careful and not move around, not try to spread a deadly virus to others and so forth. And so there wasn't as much activity. Now that we're starting to get out of that, you've had your vaccine and things are opening up and conditions are happening. Are you right back on with trying to get out there and spread the word? And
Yeah.
you have stuff lined up already?
Not fully lined up, but I do know one of the very first things that I'll do is 2 months ago or 3 months ago, I met a prune-belly boy in Colorado around 2 years ago, and we became really good friends. His name is Joe, and he was doing fine, and he needed a kidney transplant. So it kind of declined kind of fast, and the foundation helped to create an awareness campaign with his family, which it was such a blessing to have a big social media push. We were able to raise $7,000, and the story was able to get on the Colorado news, and because of that, he was able to get a donor, because along with the fundraising, we were actively searching for a match, and it was about a month and a half, and it didn't happen. And then we got the news story, and bam, within 2 weeks, they got the phone call, and he had the transplant a week ago, and he was home in 4 days, and it's doing wonderful already.
That's awesome.
So my next trip will be to go visit him in Colorado and check in and see how he's doing. And then from there, hopefully plan some sort of awareness trip towards the end of summer. And then we'll see what happens. where the universe and God takes me, I'll just keep Scissor dating alone.
Right on.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
do.
What a great
sure a
answer.
lot of people appreciate it.
Wonderful. That's so refreshing. Thank you.
No, yeah, thank you.
Hey, so let us know some of the more well-known people who have been in support of you and your efforts and your foundation, and some of those stories.
Oh yeah, Kid Rock has been a big supporter. I met him. It's kind of wild because when I was little, I'm like, I always want to meet him. I always want to meet him. But then the universe wants some new ways because all of my orthopedic surgeries, I had at Shriners Hospital for Children in Chicago because everyone around here told my mom and dad they wouldn't be able to help me, and they had no knowledge. So long story short, they were the ones that got me walking. So around 8 years ago, I believe, Kid Bob had chose Serena's Hospital as his charity of choice, and every night I was able to hold the guitar and say, "What's up, Detroit?" to help hype up the crowd, to help sell CDs, to raise money, which was a really amazing experience. The energy of people yelling back at you is really intense. But at the end of the show, his brother introduced me to him, and we were talking, and I thanked him for everything, and we just quickly went on, and I looked at him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of like, I go, yeah, I'm kind of like you. You're never gonna meet another motherfucker like me. And he jumped back, and he's like, I want my picture with you. I want my picture with you. And from that moment on, we became friends. And 2 weeks later, I was at a suite at the Lion's Den with him and his family. And through the years, he's been a supporter of the foundation, and because of him and his donation, that was a big chunk of being able to help those families be able to attend also the Coaches Conference. So yeah, that happened about 8 years ago. And then me and Trip are really good friends as well.
Trick, of course, well known to our community in the cannabis world, also.
A Detroit rap star and entrepreneur of his own.
Yeah.
Great line of flower. Great lineup of flower.
Yeah. He does a lot of things Trick does, yes.
A lot for the community. A good human being. He helped with a fundraiser for me early on at the Magic Set downtown, which was cool. But then he actually, my 30th birthday party was in my backyard, and him and a few of his friends, they came to my house right in the backyard, and that was kind of cool.
Wow.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. The neighbors were like, what? Right.
Yeah, they would. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Trick rolls first class, both in his dress and also in his vehicles and in his entourage. So whenever he arrives, it's a bit of a show, and it's good to be there. Great guy.
So it's been with my conditions just a wild ride, and in the beginning it was never about meeting famous people or any of that. Like that's it. But just them as human beings and having the ability to connect with these people, it's been a blessing, I would say.
And it's helped you to continue doing what you
right.
have a passion to do and a mission to do.
And that's the purpose and the focus. And I just hope to continue to raise money and keep rolling, and I'm gonna keep helping more people.
Hey man, is there anything else you want to make sure that you impart? Any message you'd like to leave us with?
No, not nothing I can.
Smoke
I
weed
just-
every day?
That's a little anticlimactic, but you did have a lot to offer, and we talked about a lot of cool stuff, man. I think people now have a little bit more insight. We've got the Scissor Gait Foundation site here.
Yeah, thank you. We just actually we revamped that website, and it actually lists the patrons everything that we had done over the past 4 or 5 years. We are pleased to check out and
Yeah, it looks good.
detailed and what I can explain.
It's a cool little logo on there too, and I tried to be able to. It's too small for me to grab and use it. I wanted to throw it up here, but that's a cool little logo on there too, and it is a nice tight site. People should go check that out.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you so much for everything you've done and for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are wonderful.
And we will check in later, man, and just kind of see what's going on when you get back out and up and running again with all the ability to travel again and stuff like that. We'll see what you've been able to accomplish.
All right, no, but no, yeah, and I'll let you know when I'm back up north, and let you know you'll be up there.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I'll be up there quite a bit, yeah. So good. Looking forward to that too this summer, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Marty.
All right, have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Marty.
Man.
Bye.
You know, another great interview. Here,
He's a funny guy. He's a real funny guy.
Man.
I like him. You know,
Yeah, great.
I've always been interested a little bit more in what's going on there. I've seen him like just be so kind of inspiring and positive and do all this cool stuff and come across these people. And I wanted to know a little bit more too. I'm glad I really got to hang out with him a while ago and
Yeah, I
was able
like
to come on here.